Okay, what's up, everyone? Antonio Fletcher back with you once again. I hope you're all having a happy Sunday. Um, yeah, my Sunday has been going great so far. Um, yeah, I just felt like talking about a subject that's been on my mind as of late. Um, there's a lot of atheists on YouTube who, well, maybe not necessarily a lot, but there are certain select atheists here on YouTube which seem to be given way more credit than they deserve. Certain atheists here on YouTube absolutely should not be taken seriously. You got atheists on YouTube like Jacqueline Glenn, atheists like Lacey Green, atheists like TJ from the Amazing Atheist, or of the Amazing Atheist, I should say. These people have big names on YouTube and they're given way more credit than they deserve. These people are the absolute, like, worst excuse for atheists that should be looked upon as intellectuals. These are a bunch of clowns on YouTube who give just the most sophomoric, the most horrible arguments for their position. I look at Jacqueline videos from time to time, and then I'll see certain videos that the amazing atheist would do, and I just think to myself, why does anyone take these people seriously who are atheists? The arguments these people give are just bad. If you want to talk about an atheist who is more worth their salt, then I would suggest someone like Sam Harris. And Jackson's in the chat. Hey, Jackson, what's up, man? Always liking when Jackson comes around. Jackson's a young guy, a cool dude, and I always have great conversations with him. He has a great head on his shoulders, and he's very inquisitive for his age. Cool dude. But there's these atheists who should not be taken seriously. Lacey Green, you don't shouldn't take her seriously. Jacqueline Glenn shouldn't take her seriously. The amazing atheist, you shouldn't take her seriously. I would say people like Thunderfoot ain't quite as bad as the amazing atheist and Jacqueline Glenn and Lacey Green, but he's not too much better. He has a great scientific mind, but I think that's pretty much his strongest point. Other than that, he's really not someone I would particularly take. I mean, I would take him more seriously than I would take the amazing atheist Jacqueline Glenn or Lacey Green. And these people's sub counts are just through the roof. Jacqueline Glenn has over 400 to 500,000 subscribers. Lacey Green has over a mil, and I think now Amazing Atheist has over a mil now too, I believe. And you know what? I'll give all three of them credit actually because you know what? They put in the work and the time to build that subscriber base, and they deserve to be where they at. So yeah, I would give them their due for the base they have established and the time they put into it. And if they getting paid for it, and they should get paid every penny, and they worth every penny that they earn online. But Other than that, as far as their actual arguments, I just don't take them seriously. If you want to know atheists to look at people like Sam Harris. Um, Before Christopher Hitchens passed away, I would say even he was someone to take more seriously than these dopes here on YouTube. I just hear these arguments that Lacey Green gives in these videos. Well, not Lacey, not. I was about to say Jacqueline Glenn. I was thinking of her, not said Lacey Green, but Lacey Green. They don't sound much different than your typical average atheist that folks like G-Man, True Empiricism, Veckel, and myself come across, and other Christians here on YouTube come across. Tetrahedron said, in the beginning there was nothing, nothing created chance and randomness. Through chance and randomness, our universe formed. That's basically it in a nutshell. Hey, Tetrahedron, if you would like to get a link to come into the room, just message me or type in the chat that you want the link, and then I'll send it to you if you want to talk about how you feel on the subject about atheists who should not be taken seriously. Because I don't want to make the link public because I don't think that sniping issue got fixed. I think it was fixed for a little while, but and G-Man's other hangout the other day when we was speaking with Tanya Galaxy, I got sniped twice. And Jackson says Lacey Green is crazy. It's not surprising that she's a far leftist, feminist, cancer, and just plain stupid. It's no surprise. Yeah. And I would bet anything that some of these bigger name atheists like Lacey Green, like Jacqueline Glenn, like the amazing atheists, have contributed to the abysmal turnout, which was at the I call the no reason for that rally. They, in my belief, in no way short did they contribute to that lack of presence at the no reason for that rally. That turnout was abysmal, and Thunderfoot went in talking about the abysmal turnout and the no reason for that rally. The arguments that atheists are using are getting worse and worse. They were never really that good to begin with, but they're getting worse and worse and worse. I think the best argument that atheists have is the problem of evil. But as William Lane Craig notes, theology has advanced in so many years. So much over the last several years. And pretty much the problem of evil has been, by and large, dealt with. So even quote unquote the most quote unquote difficult argument of the problem of evil is basically a thing of the past. It's no longer really a problem at all. And G-Man says they just make stuff up. Yep. That's pretty much what they do. They make stuff up. So I just got a question for the atheist community, for those who do listen to people, for those in the atheist community who do listen to people like Lacey Green, Jacqueline Glenn, or the amazing atheists. My question to y'all is why? Why do y'all listen to these people? Their arguments aren't good. They're not that good at all. There have been atheists who have admitted that William Lane Craig gives atheists a difficult time and wins their debates because atheists just don't have good arguments to bring to the table. I've had atheists actually admit that to me. There was this atheist, I can't remember the guy's name, but he actually admitted that William Lane Craig has caused atheists to step up their arguments. I would say that atheists in the more scholarly realm have, I guess, somewhat stepped up their arguments, but these atheists typically that dwell here on YouTube, no, they're just bad. Like I saw Jacqueline Glenn's video about the Bible, about her saying the Bible was evil and just mocking it left and right. The first thing she should have recognized is that mockery is not an argument. If you're going to say the Bible is evil, you better have a good basis for doing so. But the problem is the atheist doesn't have a good basis for doing so because they have no objective standard to base anything on. They just say the Bible's evil because they think it's evil. That's really what it comes down to. They don't have any objective basis to argue that point. If their opinion is good enough to say that the Bible is evil, then just my mere opinion is good enough to say that the Bible is evil. My mere opinion is good enough to say that God is good. If they don't have to give any objective basis for what they claim as the Bible being evil, then why should I have to give any objective basis to say that the Bible is good and that God is good? We can't have double standards. Oh yeah, G man, yeah, those two, which I will not say out loud, but yeah, non-believers like those who also shouldn't be taken seriously. Y'all look at these people here on YouTube like they're just the most sound intellectuals, and they're just not that good. I would say that there are definitely stronger atheists here on YouTube, like Ozzy, for example. I would take him seriously. Somebody like him. There's this guy, I don't know where he's been or if he's been online in a while, but this guy who goes by the name of Theoretical BS. I believe his real name is Scott. He actually gave he actually can give some pretty decent arguments, some solid points to be worthy of consideration. Theoretical BS and Matt Slick had a discussion, and it was a pretty good back and forth. I think Theoretical BS ultimately failed, but he had more well thought out responses. He didn't have these sophomoric, um, like the Bible is full of contradictions type answers. These amateur level points, such as amateur level points like can God make a rock so big he can't lift it? Those aren't the type of arguments that Theoretical BS was making when he was talking with Matt Slick. People need to understand, those on the atheist side, that they need to get some better arguments and they need to get them fast. Because you atheists continue to bring these terrible arguments. You continue to be this antagonistic presence online. You continue to insult and belittle people rather than bringing solid arguments. Then the influence atheists once had in the early 2000s of the new atheism movement, the influence they once had is going to be more or less gone. And I would say it's going to be more or less gone within the next 5 to 10 years, if not faster than that. There's answers to any point, to any point. Well, at least almost any point that can atheists give up, that can atheists can throw at the Christian theists. For those that may not seem like they do have an answer, maybe such answers like those will unfold in the future, which I don't really know what actually hasn't been answered. There really isn't anything to my knowledge that hasn't been sufficiently answered that atheists like to criticize. Human says they got no arguments, all they got is drama. I agree. The most popular shows all deal with drama. I agree. No education at all. Again, I agree. Most of what they talk about has no educational content. The only thing they got is a subscriber base, and YouTube in general is flooded, and I mean flooded, with atheists. It's not quite as difficult to build a base if you're on YouTube, if you're an atheist, as it is a Christian. A Christian has shown themselves to be a serious threat if they can build a decent base here online. Stop listening to these scrub atheists for the non-believers here on YouTube. The only reason why you should be watching someone like Jacqueline Glenn or Lacey Green or the Amazing Atheists is for entertainment. That's it. Y'all shouldn't be watching those people to pick up um, debate talking points. Y'all shouldn't be watching those people. Y'all shouldn't look up to those people for intellect, discourse. YouTube atheists, man, I'll tell you. I think most of the time, actually, hold on. G-Man said, soon the internet will be the place where atheism comes to die. I completely agree with that. It is my opinion that atheism's days are numbered. But until that time, non believers, other atheists, stop looking at these people here online as intellectuals. I don't know when people are going to get the message that having a sub count doesn't equate to you just this insightful person. Having a high sub count doesn't make you an insightful human being. Again, I don't knock the fact that certain people have worked hard to get their sub counts, like Jacqueline Glenn, Lacey Green, and the Mason Atheists. They consistently posted videos over many years, and I don't knock them for their sub count because they work hard to get them. What I would say is yes, they put in more time than a lot of other people, but that's literally the only difference between your average typical scrub atheist here online and atheists like them with a bigger name. Literally, the only difference is certain atheists put in a lot more time and a lot more consistency here on YouTube to grow their bases the way they have. Atheism is crashing and burning. Atheism here online is losing its influence it once had in society in around the early 2000s. The first time I really understood just how bad atheist arguments were was when, around my earlier years here on YouTube, when that thing called the Blasphemy Challenge was going on. Basically, what the Blasphemy Challenge was looking at the scripture in the Bible, which forgives all sorts of sin, but sin against the Holy Spirit, sin against the Holy Spirit, there's no forgiveness for. And basically, there are all these young people who made these videos talking about that they deny the existence of the Holy Spirit as if they thought doing so was blaspheming God, not even understanding the context of what that was talking about. When I first heard about that blasphemy challenge in my earlier days here on YouTube, I just thought to myself, you can't be serious. This is the argument they're using. And I'll admit, I wasn't even quite as strong a debater in my earlier 20s as I am today. But even then, I could see just the ridiculous weakness of that whole thing. Talking about you deny the existence of the Holy Spirit, so you act all sarcastic about it and say, well, it's not like it matters that I'm committing the unforgivable sin because I'm gonna die anyway. I don't believe in God, and um, number one, I don't believe in God. So when I die, nothing's gonna happen to me anyway. That's how some people cope with that and deal with that. Just saying, well, I can blaspheme God all day because at the end of the day, God ain't real. But it was that very challenge, this nonsensical, nonsensical blasphemy challenge when I first truly understood, and I mean truly understood, just how terrible arguments atheists give. It's just about the little stuff. It's just the little things. And these atheists, these clueless dopes, just get the little stuff wrong consistently. Atheists, stop listening to these people, whoever you are, if you are a non believer who listens to any of these people, because you're just going to keep absorbing what they say and you're just going to absorb bad arguments on top of it. I'm so tired of Christianity being spat on left and right to these people who couldn't hold a candle to any Christian that's remotely informed and up. I mean, I heard in a hangout the other day about can God make a rock so big he can't lift it? I don't know why continue or why atheists continue bringing in these lame points. G-Man says Antonio let Chris hit start band so he can prove my point. He says he proved it time and time again, but the conversation requires the other person honestly listens to what you're saying, not just make claims about my worldview not accounting for morality. But what exactly do you say? That you look at stuff like God ordering the killing of the Amalekites Um, that's one of the things you say. I don't really know what points you've given to. I mean, quite frankly, Christopher, I haven't seen you give like a single solid point against the character of God in the Bible. Not a single one. You may have felt like you proved it in your own mind, but then again, that's the byproduct of you probably adopting the same habits as the rest of these not intellectual atheists here on YouTube. Claiming that God is evil because he ordered the killing of like the Amalekites, for example, is not a good argument. He says making people slaughter other babies when other options could have eliminated suffering. What exactly are these options, Mr. Christopher? What exactly are these options you are talking about? It's interesting to me that the finite, limited atheist thinks he knows better than the infinite, unlimited God, the greatest conceivable being. The finite, limited atheist thinks they know more or know better than the unlimited, finite, the unlimited, infinite being. He says he could have just made them drop dead, change their hearts, not allow them to be born. Well, the burden of proof is on you to show why he should have done it in a way that you prefer him to do it. Why should he have done it in the way you prefer him to do it? You think just making people drop dead, changing people's hearts and not allowing them to be born is going to get people to believe? That's just not going to get people to believe. But here's the thing you got to understand, Christopher. God has changed the hearts of many, many, many people, even very, very hardened atheists. One of my really good friends here on G Plus Neo was a very much so a hardened atheist, and God changed his heart, and he's no longer an atheist now. So, does God change people's hearts? Yes, he does. He does it on a regular basis. But there's also the other side of that coin. The Bible says that God hides himself from the proud, but reveals himself to the humble. So, if God hasn't changed your heart or changed other people's hearts, then it's necessarily because they are proud. They didn't humble themselves. God is not going to make you change. And you should see that as a good thing that God isn't forcing change upon you. That he isn't forcing you to see things his way. That's not the point, Atheist Ranger. You said we have Christians who have become atheists. Doesn't mean anything. You missed the entire point, Atheist Ranger. It wasn't merely about conversion to a different belief, but about the point about when Christopher Hitchcock brought up he could just change people's hearts. Well, God has changed the hearts of many people. So it's not a good argument to say, well, God could have just changed their hearts. Well, what makes you think those people were open to having their hearts changed in the first place? These were people who hated God's people. G-Man, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up? I just wanted to come in here and say a couple of things about what Christopher Hislop was saying.
Yes,
earlier.
sir. Go ahead. Far away, man.
Well, first of all, I told Christopher to ask you for the link so he can get in here and actually argue.
He never did.
Yeah, and he won't probably either. And he definitely probably won't do it while I'm in here. What I wanted to say was Christopher Hitch is sitting there and he's talking about suffering and minimizing suffering and all this stuff and whatnot, but he hasn't given us a basis for his morality. I know he's going to try to argue empathy, for example. He's going to say that empathy is the best way, to go with that and everything. But the guy only believes in showing empathy in the people that he agree with. He does not believe in showing empathy to people who he does not agree with. You understand what I'm saying? So we Christians are taught not only to love each other, but to love our enemies as well. We have a better brand of morality because our morality stems off of God, whereas the atheist morality stems off what each individual atheist actually believes. And all of it is according to their opinion. It's not according to anything definite or finite or anything like that.
Yeah. But this is nonsense about well, God could have done it this way, or he could have made people drop dead or dead this way. First, you got to give an argument as to why he should have done it the way you prefer him to do it. Because God in his infinite wisdom don't just do things arbitrarily. Why should he have done it that way? Because the problem I have with atheists who argue these sorts of points is the fact that they're not consistent. They basically look God as this magical being, but then they give these overly simplistic answers, which basically go back to the simplicity of the magic being comparison that they said. So on one side of their mouth, they don't want God to, they think God just allegedly being this magical being is just basically cheapens his nature, basically makes him into this magical sky daddy thing. But then they said, well, he could just change their hearts. Well, weren't you the one complaining about God just doing magic or just being overly simple, and then you just give these simplistic answers? You see how they're contradicting themselves?
Absolutely, and I'll take it a step further. They're saying that God could have changed their hearts. That would violate that person's free will if he didn't want his heart changed. That's number one. The atheist community boast and brag about being free thinkers, how they think for themselves, how no one controls them and tells them what to do. If God were to do that to them, it would go directly against what they stand for. You know what I mean? So they would no longer be free thinkers if God did everything for them and they wasn't allowed to think or learn.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And you're right. It isn't consistent. It is actually consistent with the fact that they hate the Christian God and they're not interested in trying to find out whether or not he exists or not. And by them even making arguments about God being moral or immoral shows that they know that he exists, because the way, if you watch how they react and how they carry themselves on the internet when they're talking about what God what the invisible man did in a book of fairy tales that we read. You know what I mean? They get pretty upset at that book of fairy tales and about that invisible man. You know what I mean? They get more upset than a person going to the movies and watching Darth Vader kill a fictional Luke Skywalker. You know what I mean? So, and they stay this way their entire lives. So they're very inconsistent. They go against their own worldviews. And quite frankly, they don't know what they're talking about, because most of the time when they're talking about the Christian God, they're talking about a universal God. They're not even talking about the God of the Bible and what actually took place in the Bible and why it took place in the Bible. They just made stuff up as they were going along and say, oh, look how immoral your God is, based on a straw man, not factual information.
Yep.
And that's why Christopher Hitchcock is watching from the outside and not in here, because he knows he can't back up or prove anything that he's saying. Because for him to do that, he would have to actually read the Bible for himself, and he probably hasn't.
Yeah, exactly, man. And this is the nonsense that I'm talking about. That this is just not good arguments. Like Atheist Ranger says, God has the power to violate free will. He just chooses not to. If you say he can't mess with free will, then you're admitting he isn't all powerful. See, this is the nonsense I'm talking about. This is these old school amateur garbage arguments that they've regurgitated over and over again. You want to know why that argument is flat freaking garbage? You want to know why that argument is garbage, Atheist Ranger? It's not because God is not all powerful. It has nothing to do with that. It is because
I can address that argument directly if you want. He's saying that then God is not all powerful. What was the comment he made again? Could you read that to me again, please?
Yeah, he said God has the power to violate free will. He just chooses not to. If you say he can't mess with free will, then you're admitting he isn't all powerful.
Okay. For the 3-year-old atheist that said this, because I don't think that's an adult that said that. For the 3-year-old atheist that's borrowing their mom's computer, think this through for a moment, okay? God chooses. Okay, so God chooses not to do something, therefore he's not all powerful. For a minute, guys, I can lift. Let's say I can lift 1,000 pounds, right? No problem, right? But I only choose to lift 300. Does that mean I can't lift 1,000? Listen to how
exactly. It's ridiculous.
I mean, seriously, you guys are trying to regurgitate what your philosophy teacher taught you. And the funny thing is this: if I was in your philosophy class and I was listening to your philosophy teacher teach you these dumb arguments, I would embarrass him in front of his own classroom and get an A in the process.
Yep.
They're just stupid arguments. They don't think this stuff through. They're just repeating what they heard the Amazing Atheist say last night, or they heard what they heard Arnold Ross say, or Matt Dillahunty, and they swear that stuff is good. They only think it was good because we wasn't in the room with them.
Exactly. And here's the thing. They tell us Christians all the time for us not to force our morals upon them, not to shove our Bibles down their throats. Yet, they saying, well, God has the power to violate free will. Why do they have a problem with us shoving our views down their throats, but they're basically saying God should do it? Are you serious?
No, but it's true, though. It's very true. They contradict their own worldview. As a matter of fact, no atheist on the internet, and this is why I left the comment earlier when I said that the internet's going to be a place for the atheists to die soon. It's because they got to constantly contradict their own worldviews in order to play with us on these topics, because they're not debating us. I mean, seriously, these arguments that they're making are elementary, they're babyish, and I would recommend you never go into a debate with myself or Antonio or somebody else on the internet that's informed, because if you do, you're going to get embarrassed. So just don't use these arguments. They're just terrible.
Mm-hmm. And Atheist Ranger said, oh, geez. G-Man is using this argument again. Listen, dumb A, I can criticize your guy and still not believe in his existence. Okay, first of all, Atheist Ranger, don't be insulting people in my chat. Otherwise, I'm going to boot you out of here. You got that? How about that? You ain't going to be in my chat insulting people. And that's a part of the fact that y'all can't give a solid argument. Y'all just insult people directly. Because y'all don't know what you're talking about. You're going to get pulled out of my chat if you want to act a fool all stupid.
Well, let's talk about what he just said, though. Yeah. He can criticize my guy without knowing.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Right, that's what he said.
And he apologized. I appreciate your apology. Yeah. It's all good. But let's talk about the other part of what he said. I can criticize your God and still not believe in his existence.
Yeah, criticize my God, not a universal God that you made up in your head. Let's stick to what actually happened in the Bible, Find out why it happened in the Bible, and then criticize them. Let's not listen to evilbible.com and some of these popular atheist arguments. How about you do this for a change, sir? Ranger guy, Power Ranger, whatever you call yourself. Look, guy, listen, okay? You need to do something called think. I know they don't teach you guys this these days in these schools today, okay? It's not difficult. What you do is you get all of the facts first. Okay, when you get the facts, then you criticize. You don't get like 10% of the information and come on the internet of all places and think you actually know what you're talking about and think you're gonna walk away unscathed. Talk about why it happened and then show why you disagree. If you can't do that, then sir, then stay out of adult conversations.
Exactly. And talking about hiding in echo chambers, I invite him to my hangouts.
Give him the link. Give him the link.
I invite him to my hangouts a lot. And my hangouts are open to him anytime. He even said that he liked the fact that I have an open door policy, but on the same time, he felt like that my behavior since I've came here has changed a little bit, and that he feels like he's walking a fine line, I guess, when he comes to my room now. And I've never once kicked him out my room, nor lowered his volume, nor.
What's wrong with your behavior? What's wrong with your behavior?
I don't know what. I don't know. I really don't, honestly. I never once.
When did he become your judge?
Exactly.
When did he become your judge you about your behavior?
Exactly. I never once lowered his volume. I never once muted him. Yeah. I only threatened to kick somebody for the chat because they insulted somebody else. That's the only reason why. Not because of arguments or I can't address your point.
Right. So
if you act like Ranger, a dang adult, you can stick around. I have no problem.
Yeah. So Ranger, anytime you want to come here, Ranger, we can talk about morality. I have no problem with it. Just keep in mind, sir, in order for you to make a judgment about that, you have to have a basis for your morality. And since you don't have that, you're gonna have a difficult time in this room. All right. Just want to point that out there. That's what happens when you believe that you came from nothing. All right.
I don't want to even take anything you say seriously, Oz. You don't even have a mic and never come into these rooms. You even said yourself that you're here for the drama. You told me that in replying to one of my comments. So you are another person that I don't take seriously.
But the whole point is this. Your whole hangout was about like which atheists we should take seriously and which one we shouldn't take seriously. Right. I think all the ones that are only interested in drama and are making terrible, horrible that are not really influencing anyone, those people are not even worth a video response. However, the people like some people might disagree with me on this one, but Matt Dillahunty, people on Raw, I do not believe is worthy of a video response anymore. I'm sorry. After watching that last debate that he was in, if anybody's listening to him and taking him seriously, they need to go get their head examined. I think I got like maybe Matt Dillahunty. Who was the other guy you mentioned in here, Antonio?
The Amazing Atheist?
No. I'm sorry.
I said the Amazing.
As popular as he is not worthy of a video response anymore because his arguments are stupid too.
Yeah, I said Lacey Green, Jacqueline Glenn, the Amazing Atheist. I don't recall.
Maybe Joe Rogan.
Oh, I named Joe Rogan. Thunderfoot.
Yeah, Thunderfoot, Joe Rogan, I think is worth a video response.
Yeah.
Sam Harris is worth a video response.
Yeah.
There are some of them on here that you do got to go toe to toe with. A guy like Ozzy Mendez, who's actually respected on both sides of the field. Yeah, you know what I mean? People like that.
Yeah, Ozzy is decent. I mentioned earlier that Thunderfoot is stronger than those other ones. I mean, I think he's very strong, on the scientific side, but I think he tends to, go downhill really fast outside of science.
Yeah.
But that said, he definitely is stronger than the rest of those intellectual dopes like Jacqueline Glenn and Lacey Green and whatnot.
Yeah, Jacqueline Glenn, in my opinion, and I know I said this before. I don't know if you ever heard me say it before. Even though like Jacqueline Glenn isn't necessarily my type, she's eye candy. That's all she is. Like if you listen to her arguments, as a matter of fact, she doesn't have an argument, and she's not a really good debater. I talked to her on the Drunken Peasants, and there's not a whole lot to her. There's not a lot there. You know what I mean? She's eye candy, and that's the only reason she got them subscribers. Because if it was based on her argument, she'll have about as many subscribers as I can't name their names, but as the people that we won't name in this Google Hangout. You know what I mean? Because
exactly
the way she looks. That's the only reason people even pay her any mind here on the internet.
Yeah, it was the same thing it was the same thing with Lacey Green too, and she was always showing her cleavage and has been doing so for years. And her sub count went up, and she just stayed consistent doing videos, and then eventually she ended up getting signed to MTV to do these segments called Brawless, or as a young cat, an upcoming YouTube star, Hunter Avalon, puts it, it's brainless, not brawless.
Yeah, and then she has a nerve about people sexualizing her, but she's showing her boobs out to everybody and whatnot. It's just ridiculous. Lacey Green's another one of those cats that I wouldn't waste my time. Actually, I did make one video response, and she got a rap for me too. So other than that, I won't be responding to her no more. There's other feminists on here that, believe it or not, a lot of the best arguments that's on YouTube are made by people who don't got a lot of subscribers.
Yep.
I find that kind of odd.
Yep, I think he has his issues, but I definitely think someone like Dave S. is a heck of a lot stronger than Lacey Green or Jacqueline Glenn. I think he puts a lot more thought into
Scientists.
Yeah, Scientists Sam. I've had a few good discussions with him. Scientist Sam is pretty decent.
But my problem with him is this: you can't really get into an argument with him because he's too busy asking you to get on your hands and knees and to bow prostrate to him and worship him because he went to college.
Well,
you understand what I'm saying? I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what his arguments are because I don't know. Oh, that's right. I do know one of them. I'm sorry. My bad. I remember one of them. That's right. He believes that the dictionary describes usages. That he believes that words describe usages and not meanings of words. Yeah. So scientists, and he also claimed he never used a dictionary when he went to school. Sure, but yeah, he's more of a threat than some of these other morons that I've been talking to on the internet and whatnot. A lot of them shouldn't even be talking about morality until they can come up with a decent basis for their morality. And then number two, a lot of them shouldn't be in the great debate regarding arguing about whether or not God is real until they can come up with their own arguments and stop trying to regurgitate what they heard on TV.
Yeah, pretty much the arguments that people like Lacey Green give are on par with some of the stuff they talk about, like how to have proper anal sex. She talk about, that's most of what she talks about is sex, but how to have proper anal sex. Her arguments are on par with that.
And you know what? They're going to keep watching her. And then they're going to come to our channels. G-Man, I can beat your argument about God. This is how you properly have anal sex. What? It's their leader's fault. And you know, and one thing I'm very proud about being a Christian, I don't see any Christians running from atheists in debates. William Lane Craig, Kent Hovind, a lot of these guys debate anybody, any place, anytime, right? I'll debate any atheist. I'm not. Why would I want to be afraid to debate an atheist? Okay, I'll debate any of those guys, given the correct circumstances and whatnot. Obviously, I don't want to debate no troll. So the whole point is this: their community. I can name people, 5 people at the top of my head right now that's afraid to debate people. Jacqueline Glenn, Matt Dillahunty, the amazing atheist, his brother, and the rest of his co-hosts on that show. Joe Rogan is afraid to debate people. He'll go in there, hey guys, I need to pick up a book and learn how to read. Hey, you want to debate? They don't want to do it. So a lot of their leaders won't debate us, but we're just waiting up. We're waiting by our phones, just waiting for one of them to challenge us, because we know we'll kick their butts, because they don't got any arguments. All they got is drama, and that's their own fault for not sitting down, picking up a book and reading it.
Yes, sir. But like, just some of the most intellectually dull atheists on YouTube. Jacqueline Glenn, like 400,000 to 500,000 subs. Lacey Green, over 1 mil. The Amazing Atheist, now over 1 mil. like these intellectual dopes have subscriber counts that just are through the roof. And again, and I'll give them credit for putting a lot of work into YouTube for them building that base up. They definitely deserve the credit for the base, and they put a lot of work and time into building those bases. I give them that. But their actual arguments themselves, no, they're just not good. And these are the type of, sadly, some of the same arguments that they've given, William Lane Craig has dealt with in his debates with more sophisticated atheists. And you, like saying stuff like, I don't know, like how God should, like what happened earlier, like how God should deal with killing evil people, or God can God make a rock so big he can't, stuff like these are just terrible points. And they've been shown over and over again why these arguments suck, why they're bad.
Wait a minute. I have a question for the atheist community here. You're gonna love this one, Antonio. Okay, so God is immoral, right? I would like for an atheist to tell me objectively what is evil and what is good. When they can tell me what is evil and what is good objectively, then they can call God immoral. Yes, none of them can do that, because all of them, and I mean every last one of them, no matter how many word games they want to play, no matter how many games they want to play here on the internet, they all got the attitude that everything is relative and everything is subjective, right? It's according to your opinion, right? So if they can't prove that that objective evil is real, and that someone can definitely be evil, absolutely, then they don't got an argument. Because then what you got is you got one person out of like 8 billion telling you that God is immoral. Why should I listen to that one person? Just give me one good reason. Why should I listen to one person out of 8 billion?
Exactly. And the thing is, they have no problem with an ultimate standard. They may not call it objective, but they still call it an ultimate standard nonetheless. And it's society. They just don't want that ultimate standard to be God.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Jay's watching this. I want to read this comment to everybody that's watching here. Okay. She said that no Christian running from debates. Question mark. Well, I'm not an atheist, but I'm still waiting for someone to debate evolution with me in text or video exchange. Still waiting. Okay.
Why does she think people would want to entertain a text or video exchange and not just a direct conversation?
Wait a minute. So Jade, this is you throwing out the gauntlet, huh, Jade? So it can be done in text or video exchange. Well, Jade, I'm gonna have to put what do they call it in WWE? A stipulation in there, okay? It will not be a video exchange. I will have a moderated debate with you, Jade, when you get the time, when you're properly prepared, on a neutral channel, or we can do it on True Empiricism channel with the moderator of your choice. True will be there to make sure your moderator isn't being all biased and whatnot. And I'll gladly debate you on evolution, Jade, because I've done evolutionists bring it. No one's brought any evidence in there. True's done the same thing. You know, I brought no evidence in there, and I'll gladly debate you, Jade. Gladly. I'm a Christian. I don't run from nobody, but I can name one atheist that's running for me, and his name is Matt Dillahunty. That guy don't want no part of me. But Jade, I'll give you credit, Jade. At least you got the courage to have a moderated debate with me. But Matt Dillahunty, come on, guys, seriously.
She didn't confirm a moderated debate yet. She talked about a text or video exchange. There's no official confirmation.
I'll do a video exchange. It's stupid though, because it's not fair, because that person has days to go do research and be able to respond. It's stupid. Like if Jade uploads a video today, I'll have 2 days to go do all the research I want and then respond to it. It's stupid. But if you're gonna do it in real time, you gotta have an answer for this. So I mean, she really want to do it. I got no problem with that, because she's gonna lose that debate if that happens.
Neff insists on live exchanges for strategic reason and not honest was. just say that, Chris. You did not just say that, man.
I said the internet is going to be the place where it's going to come to die, because once people start finding out that guy on the atheist experience. So here's the thing. When I'm ready, Matt Bill Honey won't come to me, guys. You guys know how I do. If I can go outside and talk to the Hebrew Israelites, don't think I won't hop on a plane and go over there and talk to Baldy face to face. I will do it, okay? And if you don't think I will, you don't know me very well, all right? I will also call the atheist experience and embarrass Matt Bill Honey. He can run, but he can't hide. I will call there every single week. I have my posse calling there every single week, and there ain't nothing he can do about it, because the show depends on us Christians calling the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I happen to be a Christian, and it doesn't matter if that Christian lives in England, the United States. Doesn't matter. As long as I know who's calling that show, I will make sure that goofball is dealing with my arguments. I promise you. But go ahead, Antonio.
He said, I think G-Man, Antonio, True Pierces, and etc. should be calling that show every Sunday. It'd be hilarious. Why should I entertain my time with that fool who can control calls and just hang up on people?
The phone up on you, you lost. That's the whole argument. You hung the phone up on you, you lost.
They want to get mad. They want to sit up here and get mad at True Imperialism saying that he mutes and boots. But when Matt Dillahunty hangs up on people, it's perfectly fine.
See, I respect Jade, because I know Jade isn't afraid of nobody on here. At some point, me and Jade will have our debate. I have a lot more respect for Jade than I do her counterpart. But again, Jade, whenever you're ready, just let me know. I'll set some time apart to have this debate with you. I've been dying to have this with you for a while anyway. But if you really want to give me 2 or 3 days to research and answer your stuff, you'll find out why real time is always better.
I do think, and Jade has a lot of contrary views to my own, but I do think
I respect
the
Jade.
fact that
I actually respect Jade.
Yeah, I think she brings a lot more intellect than a lot of people that she hangs with in her general circles. I will give her that much credit.
Yeah, I respect Jade. Jade is somebody you better prepare for. I've talked to her a few times. I've had her come on my on our GTV a couple of times. She's been on my main channel. Nah, you can't just talk to Jade like she's some dummy, because she'll embarrass you. You definitely got to be prepared for her.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. But
So I give Jade credit, but I don't give no atheist credit simply because they come on here and they say, well, if your God would just violate their free will, he wouldn't be so immoral. But wouldn't that contradict how you feel about life right now as an atheist? Yeah, but he was I thought he wasn't real. How could he done any of them things? And that's what it's like talking to some of these atheists on here. Some of these atheists are smarter than that. Some of them know how to argue from philosophy. Some of them are really good at arguing from psychology and a lot of that. So some of them aren't so easy, but the ones that's using those prehistoric arguments that was used back in the atheist heyday, I would stop using those arguments, because we've stomped a mud hole in those arguments.
Yes,
all
sir.
over the place. Those arguments don't work no more.
I'm gonna stop another mud hole and another one tonight. I'm not gonna say what it is. Y'all just see it when it comes on there tonight. Tune in. It's gonna be around 8 to 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Check your local listings. It's gonna be around that particular time frame, and we're gonna stop a mud hole in another argument. I'm not gonna say what it is, but y'all see it when the hangout is uploaded on my channel when we go live later tonight.
And as for Jade, I'm gonna say this to you again before the crowd starts saying G-Man don't want to debate you, and I got Antonio here as a witness. Contact me on Skype. Let's talk about the details of this video exchange, since you want to give me days to respond to you, because I work and it's gonna be difficult for me to respond to you right away. But if you want to do it in real time, that offer is still there. We can do it on my channel. If you don't want to do it on my YouTube channel, who's a Christian on here that people think is fair?
Me.
We can do it on Antonio's channel. He's not going to be biased if you come on here. You let him moderate. I'll get equal time just like you. If you don't feel comfortable doing it on this channel, Jay, we can talk about it in private, and we can figure out somebody like maybe Christopher Matti or somebody like that. I don't know.
And
But
if she wants, I'll moderate on my channel. She can even have an admin from her general circles that she recommends moderating as well, just to have like fair moderation if she, for whatever reason, don't think I'd be fair enough alone. So yeah, we can do this a number of different ways.
You know what? You know what? Okay, Jade, no problem. I'll do the video exchange because this is what she said. She said the problem with live debates is that there is no substance. I want to be able to have reasoned dialogue where each side can present references and has time to digest and then respond to them. Okay, Jade. Yeah, no problem.
I totally disagree with that. No problem. All the live debates that's happened over many millennia and no substance. I don't agree with that at all.
But you know what, though? I want a debater, so if this is the only way I'm going to be able to do it, then so be it. You know, and now mind you, please understand something, Antonio. I'm G-Man. And since atheists are primarily going to be watching this, you know that 99.9% of them are going to be think I lost. So, you know, I'm not really doing it for the atheists. I'm doing this for myself to see if I can stand up to Jade. Like I said, Jade ain't no dummy. So we'll see. You know, Jade, contact me privately on Skype sometime today or tomorrow, and we will talk about the details of this debate because I accept your challenge.
This should be interesting.
I'm not afraid of nobody here on the internet, man, with these debates because I know what I know and I know what I don't know, and if I don't know something, I'll just admit it. For example, for a while, Jade was talking about how we fish and not fish at the same time, and I didn't know what to say about that until I actually did a little homework. So, you know, if I don't know something, I don't, and if I do, I'm gonna say the little I do. So, I'm looking forward to this. I've been waiting for this for a minute now.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Jade's
fun
gonna
to
be a
watch.
challenge. Yeah, Jade's gonna be a challenge. It ain't gonna be like debating J.D. King where he attacks the Bible for like the first hour and a half, and then I ask him, has he ever read the Bible? And then he says no, and the debate's over pretty much. It's not gonna be that easy with Jade, because Jade isn't gonna say something that's stupid.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Jade. She brings intellect quite consistently on her contrary views to my own quite often than most people in her circles do. So yeah, that's going to be fun to watch. That should be an interesting exchange.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, let's get back to the show, though. So atheists that we should not take seriously here on the internet. I think you wanted the detail enough with that, right?
Yeah.
So I know what we're going to do later on tonight.
Yeah.
But the ones that we shouldn't take seriously, we should be consistent with that. No video responses should be made toward them. No dialogue should be made with them until they show that they can be serious. Now, don't get me wrong. I've thought that some atheists on here were jokes and they couldn't make a decent argument, and then they turned around and surprised you with something that you never heard before. You know what I mean? It makes you think a little bit.
And I like that. I like having my intellectual limits pushed.
Yeah, but unfortunately, there's only a select few on here that can do that. Because the last time somebody got me like that, I believe, from that community, let me see something here. Hana Zubby, actually. They caught me with a couple of things that I wasn't ready for. But aside from that, it ain't that often no more. Because I watch a lot of their channels. I know what they're saying, and I know what they're preparing for when they come into a conversation with me. So once I hear them talk, I know where they're going. So I'm subscribed to a lot of their channels.
Yes, exactly. But like atheists like The Amazing Atheists, Jacqueline Glenn, Lacey Green, etc., these intellectual dopes can like say anything and they'll have like 98, 99% likes, no matter how non-intelligible it is. It'll be mostly likes. But I can call out arguments like, I ain't gonna say his name, but a certain individual that I was talking to recently committed the genetic fallacy several times. And they was talking about that I was the one who had an incoherent argument. Like, seriously?
But I think you've abolished this topic enough, man. Not abolished. I'm sorry, destroyed it enough. Because I can't think of anything else to say. I can't think of anything else to say on it, man. So I can leave you back to your solo world if you want, but
there's probably not really much more I could say on it. I think what I'll be doing from now on, if I talk about it at all, is I'll probably just make videos on how to refute abortion arguments, and just have a series on that or something like that. And if anybody wants to debate with me on the abortion issue, they don't have to actually start earning my time, because I've gotten to the point to where I'm sick of just arguing with just, your average typical atheist, not necessarily atheist, but person who identifies himself as a pro-choicer online. I'm just tired of just arguing with most of these people here on G Plus, because there's not even worth my time, honestly. And they're just, I could be doing better things, more productive things in my time than, people who regurgitate these amateur arguments over and over again. It's going to have to get to the point to where these people are going to start actually earning my time. I'm not just going to just give just any.
I got some dream debates I still want to see, though. I still got some dream debates I want to see. Like I said, Bionic Dance, for example, doesn't debate that often. I would like to see Bionic Dance and what the heck is his name again? Richard. What is it? No, Bruce Shepard. I like to see him and Bionic Dance have a debate. I like to see Brett Keenan, the Amazing Atheist, do a one-on-one debate. I would like to see True Empiricism go one-on-one in a scientific debate regarding evolution with Fiona and only Fiona. To tell you the truth, I think Jade versus True Empiricism would be fun. I would like to see in a moderated debate. Let me see something here. Who's good with this? No. I know the perfect opponent for you on the abortion issue. I like to see you and Robin Dupree Reed go at it.
Oh, sweet.
A lot of people don't know her because I don't talk about it that often, but I'm about to help her get about 400,000 or 500,000 more subscribers. Because I'm gonna start ripping her a new one. But Robin Dupree Reed and you on a board, oh god, that would be so entertaining. Oh my god, I would love to see that. I like to see Veckel versus Alexander Carson on morality. That's never gonna happen, by the way, but or the beautiful reality, whatever the heck he's calling himself these days. That would be an awesome debate. I would like to see. Let me see something here. You know what? Even though JD Kane's considered how can I put this? Gotta be nice about this. Okay, the title of this Google Hangout. Let's put it to you that way. I like to see him go one-on-one. Let's see something here. With Pillbox?
Yeah. Oh man.
That would be funny. And then he can't mute and boot you. He has to actually answer questions.
I feel like I would not stop laughing. Seriously.
Oh, you know what I would do? I would give, if he sets that up, I want to say this publicly right now. If he sets that up, and I want to make sure I'm clear with this because I'm going to have to do what I say I'm going to do with this one. Okay, if he sets that up and it's moderated and they do not mute Pillbox one time, they don't mute him one time, and Pillbox is allowed to say what he wants, and the other doofus on the other side, Kane, can say whatever he wants, right?
Yeah.
Check it out. And it has to be on evolution now, okay? I will donate. Let me see something. I will give JD. I will donate. Let me see something here. Okay, and the debate has to be at least 2 hours. Okay, I'll give the man $50. But here's the conditions. It has to be 2 hours. It has to be moderated, and you cannot mute and you cannot boot Pillbox, and you have to have equal time talking. If I find out that there is more of JD Kane and we're not getting to hear Pillbox talk, questions are not being answered, I ain't giving him a dime. Yep. And you can take this portion of this hangout, put it on TSC. I don't care. As soon as you set it up, let me know, because that would be more entertaining than what we're presently watching on WWE. I'm sorry, guys. That would be some funny stuff right there. Yeah. What do you think, Antonio?
Man.
I can't so fast, I don't even know. I'll gladly make that sacrifice.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
That would be funny.
And it's free money. It doesn't matter whether they win or lose. It's free money. Meet the simple conditions, free money. There you go. Why would you pass that
You know what
up?
blows my mind? I offered now I saved this money for like a good little minute here, right? And I saved the money to it was a couple of months back, and I offered Matt Dillahunty $2,000, and the guy said he was in between jobs and went and take the money. That tells you about the person that's on here. Listen, even if I lose, I'm going to debate you. $2,000. You know what I can do with that? Please.
Yep.
To me, that's a lot of money. I know what I can do with that. I'm not rich. You know what I mean? So am I going to give that to me just to have a conversation or debate with you? Please take that, put that in my pocket, and do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I guess his pride is so deep that he's not willing to put it on the line, even if it is for something like $2,000.
But the funny thing is, there was a YouTuber that gave him, I don't know, it was $50 or $500. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but I know it wasn't over 500. And Matt Dillahunty gave that person 30 minutes of his time. I think it was $50. I think it was. He gave to his Patreon, and he gave him 30 minutes of his time. I offered $2,000. I couldn't even get a second. I couldn't even get 1 second.
Wow.
That just goes to show. Matt Dillahunty is only interested in the echo chambers, and that man don't want to debate nobody like me, because I told him on the I think I told him on the what do you call it, the Atheist Experience, and I told him in individual videos. So listen, dude, you debate me, bro. It's your last debate you ever gonna have on YouTube, because I'm gonna retire you. You're done, finished, kaput. You ain't never gonna be able to talk to nobody on YouTube again. And it's not just him. If I ever, back when I was interested, and I am not interested. No, I'll make sure this is very clear. I am not interested right now. But I wanted to debate Aaron Raw and evolution. I believe during that particular time, if Aaron Raw would accept it, I would have retired his behind.
Yep. And you know,
Done about it.
and you know what the extent of the atheists here on YouTube, the extent of their effectiveness, or if you even want to call it quote unquote effectiveness, is them subbing to a ton of Christian / theist YouTubers and thumbs downing their videos. That's basically the extent of their quote unquote effectiveness. It's just subbing to a bunch of Christians and or theists and thumbs downing their videos. That's it. They are so consumed with just immediately thumbs down and stuff. Most of the time, they don't even listen to the content before they thumbs it down. There is no reason why the video should be up for 10 seconds and have like 4 thumbs down. There's no reason why that should happen. That shows you that they're not actually looking at the content. That shows you that all they're doing is going straight to a Christian or theist channel just to thumbs it down.
I'm used to it, man. I've been on YouTube long enough for now where I'm just used to it. You know, thumbs downs. If I would have started getting a bunch of thumbs up, I think there's gonna be something wrong with the world. You know what I mean? Them thumbs downs are my thumbs ups, as far as I'm concerned.
Interesting way to look at it.
Sanity. That's what you got to do it. Keep your sanity around here, because all that means is I disagree with G-Man. But as soon as I say the majority of my audience are atheists, that should tell you something. Atheists disagree with what I'm saying. I'm making videos against atheists, and that's what's supposed to happen. Nothing strange or anything different going there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they don't want to entertain things or listen past their own nose. They don't want to extend past their pride. They just, the video's up, new G-Man video, new Antonio Fletcher video, new True Pearson's video, thumbs it down, yep.
Yeah, I love your video, man. That was a funny video that you made. For those of you who hasn't seen it, Antonio made a video where he talks about the atheist thumbing down videos, and it's really funny, because that's the atheist revenge. When somebody says something they don't like, they're gonna thumb it down, and they're gonna be like, I got you, and he started like dancing at the end. You gotta check it out. It's so funny.
Yeah, matter of fact, if anyone wants to see it, I'll put the video in the link. Oh, I'll put the link to the video in the chat, I should say. Yep.
Christopher Hitchlat wants me to give him $100 to wait a minute, hold on. Pledge $100 so you can get a 30-minute Skype call with Matt. Simple. $100. That's it. I don't want a Skype call with him. I want him on my YouTube channel. And if that's the case, I would have to. I would get more than 30 minutes. Let me see something here. 30. Heck, I'll get my 2 hours with him. Right now, okay, like for example, Antonio, right now, Antonio, I'm offering the leaders of the Hebrew Israelites right now, right? $100 per hour to come on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to get that by monetizing your YouTube channel? I'm offering that $100 per hour.
Yep.
And I bet the Hebrew Israelites take advantage of it. Matt Dillahunty could have made let me see something. He could have came to my channel for 2 hours. Let me see something here. He would have made about maybe $400 an hour or something like that, $450 an hour, I think. No, he would have made $500 per hour if we stayed 2 hours. He would have made $500 per hour.
Yeah, that's just how do you don't pass that up. I'm sorry. If you think you're gonna lose,
per half hour.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. Per half hour.
I would, man. I don't understand why he would pass that up. But you would give someone a half hour of your time for $50.
Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. They're trying to use this against me now. You're reading the chat. It says, G-Man don't want to Skype call him. I want Dillahunty on my channel. All about subscribers, SMH. And he talks trash on others for this. Let me explain something to you. You intellectually, this what's his name? Olsback or whatever his name is?
Olsbachak. I don't know how to say his name.
Olsbachak. Let me school you on something here a little bit, okay, sir? Just so that you know, okay? I can record the Skype conversation and put it on my YouTube channel. Do you understand that? Okay? I want them on my YouTube channel for a reason, okay? Number one, my subscribers want to see this debate. Number two, I want to show all of you out there that his arguments don't work.
Mm-hmm.
What part of that don't y'all understand? Listen to me. Whether you guys like it or not, whether it's this year, next year, or the year after that, the man lives long enough. He's got to debate me because I am still the most outspoken individual on YouTube regarding the atheist community. And every time he ignores me, the man shows the yellow stripe going down his back. Okay, I'll admit that some of the stuff I'm saying is for how do I put this? It's for the spectacle or whatever. But trust me, once that guy's in the room with me, I'll back up everything that's coming out my mouth.
Yes, sir.
Every last thing. And by the way, I know a lot of you like this avatar I got here with me terrorizing the Hebrew Israelites. I know a lot of you like this. Let me put it on the big screen here for you guys.
Yeah, that's balls.
Yeah, a lot of people like this. Wait till you see the one I'm going to make about the atheist community. And wait till you see who's going to be on the bottom there. Matt Dillahunty will be one of them. Wait till you see the one I'm going to make about the atheist community.
Black D in there, Black Dance, a whole bunch of...
Okay, Chris Hitslap says, G-Man, you don't have enough subs to be taken seriously. Chris, I was on the Drunken Peasants, right? The Drunken Peasant show. And I brought up Bionic Dance. I think she has, 20,000 subs now?
Yeah, something like that.
He never even heard of the woman. He knows about me. And by the way, so does about 100,000 of his subscribers know about me. All right? So a lot of people don't know about Bionic Dunce. And if they did, they probably would be embarrassed to be an atheist. Remember, this is the same female that said that rocks are atheists and babies are atheists. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will have 10,000 subs before the end of this year, just to let you guys know. All right, because I am getting aggressive about getting my subs. So, and when I get there, I wonder what your excuse is going to be then. Well, you don't got enough subscribers to take on Matt Dillahunty. At some point, you guys got to just just give up and be like, you know what, Matt? Can you please go and preach it to the choir ministries and destroy G-Man? No atheist has been able to do it. Can you go in there and hit him with that logic and just do what you did to Matt Slick? As a matter of fact, he didn't beat Matt Slick. Matt Slick actually did rather well against him. So I would like to see him come to my YouTube channel and tell me he studied for 5 years, because I'm not impressed with that at all. I know my Bible way better than him. I proved that to him when he came on the topic of slavery. I'm the only person that refuted anybody in that conversation. Matt Dillahunty is not on my level. He has to get to my level. And that's not me being puffed up. That's not me being proud. I know what I'm talking about concerning Jesus Christ, concerning the faith that we actually believe in. And I know the weaknesses and the strengths of our faith. Matt Dillahunty thinks he knows.
Yep.
It's a big difference. He thinks he knows.
He is He I don't know how to describe that guy. I could just put him in the
He's
rest
a
of
legend in his own mind. Matt Dillahunty is a legend in his own mind. Listen to me. Listen to me. Saka is a tougher debater than Matt Dillahunty. And if you don't believe me, go debate Saka. Saka is a tougher debater than Matt Dillahunty. And trust me, I've had my conversation with him. That little guy is annoying. Go have a debate with with Ozzy Mendez. Yeah, you want to be challenged? I'll tell you who to go to. Go have a debate with Shanna Rocky. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna say this publicly. Who do you think will be tougher in the debate against evolution? Jade or Matt Dillahunty?
Jade easily.
Exactly. So Matt Dillahunty is good on one topic and one topic alone. That guy is good. He's good at doing two things. He's good at arguing over logic and reasoning. He's very good at that. I'll give him credit with that. And he's very good at what is it called? Dodging questions. He's good at it. And I've been watching him so long that when I talk to him, he's not going to be able to do it. Because I'm going to say, dude, you're moving the goalposts. But you know, it doesn't even matter. Let's talk about what you're talking about here. Because everybody here sees you moving the goalposts.
Yeah.
How am I moving the goalposts, G, man? We were talking about apples, and now you're talking about orangutans. You know what I mean?
But hey, you atheists gotta stop listening to people.
Listen to me, Antonio. A lot of Christians ain't gonna like me saying this. I will delete my YouTube channel if Matt Dillahunty can debate me on morality and defeat me. And let me explain to you what I mean by defeating me. Make me admit on air that God is immoral based on the arguments that Matt Dillahunty is presenting. If Matt Dillahunty can make me say my God is immoral because of the arguments that Matt Dillahunty is making, I will delete my YouTube channel and leave YouTube. But guys, I know the guy's argument so well, that ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
But I am on record saying that. I will leave YouTube. I will delete my YouTube channel after I admit that Matt Dillahunty's correct. But he has to make an argument, and he has to prove to me in real time that my God is immoral, and that he has a strong enough argument that I have to respect him.
Yep, I hear you.
And I already know what his arguments are. He can't do it. Can't do it.
You atheists need to stop.
What? I've seen hell freeze over before, so let's see what happens.
Yes, sir. But you atheists need to stop taking these Jacqueline Glenn's, these Lacey Greens, these amazing atheists, people. Y'all need to stop taking these people seriously. These Onision types. These people are total jokes. All they've done is regurgitate the same basic sophomore amateur level arguments and do it for a longer period of time to build their sub base. That's all they literally have done. They haven't built their sub count on any, knockdown or any solid arguments against Christianity. They can't. So I don't know why y'all continue to take these intellectual dope seriously. I don't know why y'all continue. Like, if y'all want to watch these people for entertainment, that's great. But as far as these people definitely know how to debate a Christian theist in a debate. These people are not know how to do guide for debating Christians if you're an atheist. But it seems like no matter what I say in this hangout, it's just ultimately going to go one ear and out the other. They're still going to think, what people like Lacey Green said is the gospel truth. But then again, I can't say this for all atheists because there are quite a few number of atheists out there who are countering who are countering like SJW nonsense, countering feminist nonsense, like a lot of stuff that Lacey Green says. But as far as arguments on the existence of God, they ain't got nothing. As far as arguing morality, they have nothing. As far as arguing science, they don't even have that. They don't have anything at all. And on top of not having anything, they continue to regurgitate this not this pseudo um, argumentum nonsense. Looking at a Jacqueline Glenn video and looking at her mocking the Bible is not a sound basis to take an argument seriously. If she were to actually able to go into the material and research the passages, do hermeneutics, all that stuff, she will actually find, just how much it comes together. She was actually doing real serious study on what's being said. Then she wouldn't have anything to say. But that's the problem, though. She don't want to do a serious study on what's really being said in the Bible, because if she were to do a serious study, then she would have to either a lot of her foundations on YouTube would crumble, or
You know what
what
she
did she
said to me?
say?
She said to me that if I eat shrimp or if I eat crab or anything like that, I'm going to go to hell. She said that to me on the Drunken Peasants. And I had to educate her on the Old Testament and the New Testament about what the Bible actually says about that. Because the Old Covenant made it clear that you couldn't touch anything that was unclean and whatnot, right? But in the New Testament, the Bible says that you are not to judge anyone for what they eat or what they drink or any new moon or any holiday or anything like that. You know what I mean? So she's deliberately ignoring a lot of the New Testament scriptures. She's only focusing on the Old Testament. And it's clear that she has never read the Bible for herself to know. I mean, she knows enough about it to not to do, but she clearly doesn't know enough about the scriptures about what God says to do.
Heck no, she doesn't. She doesn't have a clue. All she does is look at stuff like passages that say smashing babies' heads against the rocks, which nowhere in scripture did God condone people smashing babies' heads against rocks. God didn't condone any such thing. But the problem is they confuse something being included in the Bible as opposed to whether God condoned it or not. Those are not the same thing. Just because something gruesome may be in the Bible does not necessarily mean that God condoned it. It's just the fact that it was there. It's just the fact that you had people that said, crushed their, bastard baby says against the rocks. You had people saying this nonsense, this sickening crap. But
hey, Antonio, I gotta go, Antonio, but I appreciate the invite. Okay.
Oh yeah, man.
All right, man. God bless.
All right, I'll see you later tonight, man. God bless. I think that about wraps it up. I'll just say this and I'll sign off. It just goes back to what I've been saying this entire hangout with G-Man, and I've been talking about this entire hangout. Stop taking these people seriously. These atheists here on YouTube. They don't have what it takes to really step up to the plate and have a good conversation. The only thing these people have done is put more time into YouTube than anyone else to build their bases. That's all they've done. Like they just happen to have more time in it. These people are jokes. They ain't worth any Christian's time. If you want entertainment, go watch Lacey Green, go watch Jack Lugger, go watch Amazing Atheists. But if you want something of intellect, something that's going to actually grow you, then you should be looking at stuff like William Lane Craig versus Sam Harris. That's the type of stuff you should be looking at. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about it. Don't take these atheists seriously. If you are atheist, stop giving these people all your time and energy, because you could either be establishing something for yourself, or you could what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Either you can establish something for yourself. I don't know. I was going somewhere with that. I lost my train of thought, but that's all I gotta say. Stop taking these intellectual dopes seriously. That's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. God bless and peace.